Alright, so we have our run and idle. Right now we need our jump. And the jump is going to be a little bit different for the simple fact once it's done we need it to stop. So what I can do, well, let's get first part set up. So we already have an array, and let's go to our player. Let's go to jump, and we have jump. We have looks like 10 for jump. And actually, I think okay, I gotta remember what the animation is. I may just be able to do what I did. I might be thinking of something else, but we'll find out. All right, so I'm gonna use this again for right now because I want to see what this particular animation looks like. And we have this here. We need the jump length, and this is equal to jump. Okay, that's what the jump looks like. So we have this, and it's jumping. And we have our percentage here is running through this, and we can start off with this until we break the array. And that's very cool. So we have to jump length, and this is, it looks like about a second. So let's do this. Float. Jump time is equal to 1. If we're doing this, jump time is going to be minus or equal to time dot delta time, and then while jump time is greater than 0, we run through our animation. And now, because this is a while loop, and I need to explain what a while loop is, we have to have a break. And a while loop is kind of like a for loop, as in it keeps cycling through this until whatever condition is met. Now, if I don't have a break here, it's going to keep running through this, and it's going to kill my game. Is going to cause it to crash, or worse. So I have to have it, once this condition is met, I got to tell it to break. That's what the break is for. And I'm going to do a quick test. So we have that, and it looks like it cycles through. Looks like it's going twice, so we're going to make this a little bit smaller. It's at 1. I think I'm going to cut that down to like 0.75. .5. And there we go. And right now I'm just eyeballing it to see what I have, and maybe 6.5 or 6.60 would be. Okay. And it stops. So the one thing I need to do is, since I'm using this to control how long we run through this, at some point I need to be able to have this go back to whatever we're doing. So what I'm going to do is, if we're in, and I could probably just use these two, I was going to put the enums in here, but since I already have my switch statement, I could just say if we're in the idle animation, my jump time is equal to this amount here, which if I'm doing this, the actual correct thing I should be doing, float jump time amount should be equal to this. And jump time at start is equal to jump time amount. And so when I go here, I just tell jump time to go back to being equal to jump time amount, and we do the same thing here. Instead of redeclaring it back inside of my function when I'm calling it from outside of the function to begin with, as declaring it at the beginning of the class. And we can test it. Now we have this here, we got jump, we have all of this, and it should say, actually let's go ahead and test it cycling back. So idle, jump, idle, jump. So that value keeps going, and we can keep playing that animation over again as we want to, but when it initially goes, it's a one-shot deal, which is what we want. Now we have this working. We got to get this to work with our player movement and behavior. And this is where, and this is not going to be as hard as you think, because we have a lot of the stuff here, or we already know what we want to happen. So what I'm going to do is, this is a component of a player, so it's not like we already have access to it. So what we're going to do is this. So let's start off with our direction. And if we want, we could just put this in here as, you know, a function and throw that in update. So void get animations. And I do need this. So if Control C, there we go. So if input I get horizontal is greater than 0 or less than 0, we're going to get component. Component that we're going to get is our animation controller. What we're going to get is our state, and we're going to tell that to be equal to our run state. That's idle, we want run. And there we go. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this and delete this. If horizontal is equal to 0 and we're grounded, we're idle. There we go. And now I'm going to grab this here, our input get dot space. So if input dot key down space and we're grounded, we go to our jump state when we play our jump animation. Now, because we don't have a lot of states in here, oops, let's get rid of that, my bad. Because we don't have a lot of states in here, this isn't going to get very complicated. We have it so when we idle, we have this so that we can run, and we have it so that we can jump. Now, the other thing I probably need to put in here, if we're this, and I need to put in, and we're grounded, we do this because otherwise I want to keep my jump animation or keep it jumping so it's not running through the air. And let's test this. Oops, we have one more thing to do. I did not put this in update. So we're in update. I'll just sneak it right here. Hit build. So there's something going on with the jump. Let me take that out. So if you're trying to figure out if something's going wrong, you kind of debug it. You take things away. So I don't think it's this, it's one of these, and it's probably is grounded. We do that. that's going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to turn this off right now, just to get the jump, see if I can get the jump working. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more to this, and I'm going to go create a bool, and we're going to name this jumping. And I'm going to drop this in here and say we're not in the act of jumping. Along with this, then you can do this. So if keep doing that today. So if we are not jumping, then we can do this. And what I'm going to do as soon as we hit that space bar, jumping is true, and then if we land on ground, jumping is false. And hopefully my logic is correct. So at this point, we're not jumping. There we go. Alright. So I had to add in another check just to say we're not jumping, we are jumping, and then use that to control the idle. Now, let's do one last thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to make the character be able to turn around, even though there's no animation to turn it around. So first thing I need to put in here, if we're going to turn it around, is just tell its transform direction to always be equal to the direction. Transform dot transform direction. You're equal to direction. The next thing we're going to do is we need to hold the player's current scale. So I'm going to create a vector 3. We're going to name this current scale. And our player, we should have scales for X, Y, and Z. And we're going to name this current scale is equal to transform, and we have local scale, and that's what I want. And we also, let's go ahead and do this. So vector 3, new scale to go to. Our new scale to go to essentially I want to take this and along, I believe, X, make that negative. No. Now we gotta put this. Leave that open. Alright. And new scale to go to is going to be equal to a new vector 3, and we're going to use our current scale. Now X, current scale dot Y, current scale dot Z, and we're going to turn current scale X to 0. I mean to negative. And we're going to build it. Yes. Because even though this is a 2D object, we have 3 parameters for our scale. So that's why I want to use it. Now, we can put this in here or we can put it up here, but essentially, if I do this, take this part right here, so transform that local scale is going to be equal to our current scale. That's for moving positively. Moving in the negative direction along X, we go new scale to go to. And I have it backwards. Actually, I didn't change it. That was done. All. Let's hit play. Here we go. And we can go back and forth. Alright. I forgot about this one. And I might have to explain what's going on. So this happens is we're telling this to be equal to this transform, which means is also getting its scale as well too. And because this scale is this, it's causing the other one to stretch. So what we're going to have to do is for the platform, it's going to give me that. Okay, I forgot all about this one, and the easiest solution is to change player around a little bit. And I am going to duplicate player. I'm going to name this animations, and I'm going to get rid of this component, my box collider, keep my animation controller, and this. Parent that under player. Player, I'm going to get rid of the sprite renderer. I am going to keep the box collider, I'm gonna keep player movement, I'm gonna keep the rigid body, but I'm gonna get rid of the animation controller. Now, for this, I'm going to have to reference my my animations here. This thing right here, and we're going to have to make a slight change to our code. And instead of here, we're going to create a new, not new, but we're going to create a public game object animations geo, and what I'm going to do here, and I apologize for this, is we're going to have to reference that and that. Now, my animations geo scale is not the same as what we just changed for our player. If I look here, this is all at 1, 1, and 1. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to reference it. And we need transform. Transform.local scale, and yeah, that will work. And what we're going to do here is just reference it. So my animation.transform.local scale is equal to current scale, and my transform.local scale is equal to new scale to go to. Okay, when this hit this, because of its relative scale, this becomes the parent of this, which changes the scale of the object. So what I had to do was I took all my animations, I put that as a separate game object that we're going to reference with the player. So let me go ahead and reference that. And then instead of changing my player's scale, I'm changing the scale of my animations. So all the stuff I just did, I now added in the new reference of animation geo, which is this right here, and then just tag that on so that it now knows that these are the scales that I want to change instead of the scale of my player now. And when you play it, you're not going to know the difference, but it's a quick little fix without having to go and scuttle the boat and do something else. Yes. Okay, it's easier for me to tell you now what I kept. So the animation, I kept the animation controller and the sprite renderer. From the player, I kept the rigid body 2D, the box collider, and the player movement and behavior. And I got one more thing I need to do. So I need to reference this as well. I didn't do that with my other animation, so we're running into a problem. There we stays the same. And there's one thing I want to do as well. One last thing. So here, I'm still hitting this button here, and it's still changing it. As well as playing the run animation. Even though I have here that is grounded is true, and I do need to check to make sure that is grounded is changing. So let's do that very quickly. So is grounded right now is false, but I'm still able to play those other animations. So for some reason it just wants to do that, and I do want to be able to move in those axes. I just don't want to play the run animation when I'm moving left or right and I'm in the air. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to use is jumping again. And I could probably put this all together. But when I'm up, I don't want to play the run animations, even if I hit forward. Well, now I'm dead, but you get it. Say that again. Oh, well, it doesn't have a collider on it, so it can't read what that is. But let's untag it. But because for it to read the, well, in what we're doing, no. And all of what we're calling up when we need to tag are collisions. So in that instance, it's not going to affect it. But if I had an object that was looking for every object with the tag player and to call them to do something, then yes, it will cause a problem. Now, the last thing that I want to do is, can anybody guess? Starts with a P. Thank you. And I want to prefab my player. And we'll say this as. Now, at this point, I still have to create my sprites for my backgrounds, my platform, my ground, all that good stuff. I don't need to show you guys how to do that. You know how to already do that. But before you do that, get to where I'm at, and I want you to actually, for Monday, and we need to kind of talk about that. So let me bring that up and let me stop recording. So what?